Hey guys, Hoosier Hockey Podcast fans, what up? It is Sunday, 2:30 p.m. Just going to jump in and do a quick sesh for you guys. I want to do a full-on rundown. I'm going to start with the NHL because that's the deal. So I'm going to start in the East, dive right in. Right now the Metro is Washington, Philly, Pittsburgh. Tight race in the Metro. 1 point separates three teams. That's really, really interesting. Washington's been playing poor as of late. Philly just acquired Mrazek in a trade from Detroit. So that's going to be interesting going forward. Mrazek's a monster, and I think they've got a real chance. Pittsburgh's been playing well. Saw them play 2 weeks ago in Columbus, and they're on the upward trend. So they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. In the Atlantic, you got Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Boston. Tampa has 87, Toronto 83, Boston 82 respectively. So a little bit more space in that division. Tampa Bay, they're consistent. They're going to make the playoffs, and I don't see anyone winning that division other than them. But Toronto is going to be making some moves at the trade deadline. Rumor has it that Erik Karlsson from Ottawa might be going there, so that would be a nice addition for them, in addition to Matthews and all the gang of forwards. So Boston, we'll see. It's a little early to say. The wild card has New Jersey and Columbus. Columbus, they're good against everyone but the top two teams in their division, so that'll be Hopefully they'll edge out someone in their division to make the division and not the wild card. That'll be a better matchup for them. New York Islanders are 2 points out. Carolina's 3 points out. Carolina's been playing amazing recently. And then you've got Florida at 62 points, Detroit at 60. I think the cutoff in the East will be at Florida. I don't think Detroit has what it takes with Jimmy Howard net. And they're too young up front, and they've got too many old guys holding them up in their lineup. So that's kind of a breakdown on the East as of today. In the West, you've got Nashville at 83 in the Central, Winnipeg 83, and Minnesota at 75. I think Winnipeg and Nashville are going to run away with that division. Then the Pacific, you've got Vegas with 86, San Jose with 74, Calgary 73. Again, Vegas is going to win that division hands down. And then the two wild cards will be Dallas and Anaheim, 74 and 73. So there may be a little bit of wild card to the last division position in the playoff race, but the teams on the outside looking in are St. Louis, Los Angeles, and Colorado. They have 72, 71, and 69. Chicago at 62. I don't think they're going to do it. So I think the cutoff is Colorado, maybe LA, and higher. And on the West, I don't think Colorado has it. They've just been too inconsistent, and their goaltending is shaky, so I don't see Colorado doing it. St. Louis has been playing very, very well. I think they're playing right now. Let me scroll up and see what this. See. Yeah, they're playing right now, and they're getting smoked by Nashville 4-0 in the third, 4 minutes left. So. And they're getting ready to go on the power play. So, yeah, I just in the West, I don't see anyone other than those two teams on the outside possibly getting in. It looks like St. Louis is going to get a goose egg on points today. So, but Nashville's strong. They're leading their division. So, yeah, I just don't see that happening. So, I want to talk about the Olympics real quick. Germany and Russia happened last night. I stayed up and watched that thing from start to finish. It was a late night. It didn't start until about 11:30, and it was a great game. Germany honestly didn't really have any business being in that game. Upset Canada in the semis, and they had a really good strategy against the Russians on controlling the defensive zone and, really keeping things to the outside. The only times they got away from that is when Russia scored. It seemed like every time they got to the middle, they scored. but they did what they had to do to be in that game and force overtime and do what they could. So sorry about my freaking dog over there barking his ass off. But yeah, so it was a great game. I think, like I said, Russia, they were the superior team. They deserved to win it. You had Datsuk and Kovalchuk, for God's sake, so they were insane to watch. Germany played a great game. I'm trying to think of the kid's name. Christian Ehrhoff played well on defense for Germany, and it was kind of a tournament where, like, the goaltending was just so not NHL quality, and it was a lot of scoring, which was awesome. I think you probably would have got the same thing out of if the NHL players played, but the goaltending would have been more stellar in my opinion. But so that was that. I thought it was cool. A lot of those German players went to go take pictures with Datsuk and Kovalchuk after the game. It might have been their last go. Datsuk is a 3-time gold medal winner with Russia. So that was kind of neat to see. I'm a big Detroit Red Wings fan, so watching Datsuk do well, even after he's left Detroit, is kind of cool. So shout out to Datsuk. He's a beast. So yeah, so that's kind of like the breakdown of hockey as of late. Want to inform you guys about what we're doing in the next few weeks. Our plan is to get some sort of kind of permanent platform for Hoosier Hockey Podcast, whether it's a full-on website or a blog space or whatever it is. We are planning to do that and make some moves with that. So stay tuned with us on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if we're going to go the iTunes route or whatever, but it's early, and I appreciate you guys being patient with me and kind of seeing me through this venture. It's a lot of fun, and it's going to be cool. We're going to do something that's more permanent and to where we can have big platforms. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate it. Obviously we want to get some live things going to where we can get everyone involved, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to break down the rest of the games today. St. Louis and Nashville 4-0, $1:20 left in the third. I don't see that changing. Boston plays Buffalo at 5 on MSG2. Detroit, New York Rangers. That's a 7:30 NHL Network game. Edmonton, Anaheim, 8 o'clock on Prime. San Jose Sharks, Minnesota Wild on Fox Sports North, and Vancouver, Arizona on Fox Sports Arizona. So I'll go ahead and give my analysis on the games that haven't happened yet. So Boston, Buffalo. Buffalo's one of them bottom teams in the league, but they've got potential, so don't sleep on them. I think with Boston being in a big playoff race right now, it's crucial they get 2 points. Obviously, their big dog's got to perform. Chara's got to, do his thing. Tuukka Rask has to do his thing. Krug has to do his thing on the back end in order for the big dogs to, get some goals and be productive up front. So I picked Boston in that game. I think that game's going to be a close game, but ultimately Boston's just got too many weapons for Buffalo. So Detroit, New York. That's a good game. That's a good matchup. It's kind of a game where Detroit either makes up their mind of, hey, we're going to try to make a push for the wild card, or, we're just going to, get reps and finish the year, in the bottom of the well. So for the New York Rangers, obviously it's a chance for them to, get back in the race, and they're not out of it by any means, but New York's just too strong of a team for Detroit, in my opinion. With Hank in net, he's just far better than Jimmy Howard. So I think that's going to be the difference in this game. Again, that's going to be 7:30 NHL Network. So tune into that one if you will. 8 o'clock, Edmonton, Anaheim. That's going to be a fast and furious game. A lot of big boys in those lineups. The West Coast style game is a big physical game. Obviously, you've got McDavid on Edmonton. He's nasty. And then you've got like Kessler and Perry, Getzlav on Anaheim. I like Anaheim in that game. Um, I don't know why. They're just a good team. I think that they're going to get it done. Um, I think they've got what it takes. They're a big physical team, and when they take guys like McDavid off the puck and keep them to the outside, if they can keep them to the outside, they're a far less dangerous team than if you let McDavid get to the middle and have a lot of options. So I think they're going to do. I think Anaheim's got that one. San Jose, Minnesota. Minnesota. Yeah, they're a good squad. They're third in their division right now, and I think they're going to have a short playoff run, but I think they're easily a playoff team. They have a lot of quality in their lineup as well. And then the late game will be Arizona and Vancouver. Obviously, Vancouver's the better team here, and they should do work there. So that's my picks for the night. Yeah, that's going to be a good game. I was talking about Boucher last time I was on the podcast with you guys, and he's a stud. I think he won accuracy shooting or something like that in the All-Star game. So let's go. I'm scrolling, trying to find some good current events here. Let's try to find something. I want to talk ECHL while my computer's loading. Obviously, the close team for me is the Fuel, so I'll break that down. I went to all three games, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they played Quad City in all three. Quad City being the team that's in last in the division and second to last in the conference. Obviously they have nowhere to go but up. But Indy has made a ton of trades and moves in the last week that have made them a lot stronger. They picked up Nelson from Fort Wayne. And Acapelli or Isapelli or whatever the hell his name is, he came as well. He scored 4 goals in 3 games or 5 goals in 3 games. Unbelievable. He's an incredible talent. Marcoux is back from his loan, so it's good to see him back. Tompkins played Friday night, got yanked after, I want to say, 4 or 5 goals. Marcoux came in, shut the door. Fuel won 8-7 Friday, 4-2 Saturday, and then I think 5-2 on Sunday or 4-2, something like that. So they had a good weekend. So Indy is on the outside looking in the playoffs. I think they're probably 3 or 4 points back of a playoff spot. So yeah, I mean they're playing well. So I mean they're first in the power play. They had a big weekend on the power play, and I think they're 10th in the league in penalty kill as well. So. They're a top 16 team easily, but because their conference is a little bit stronger, you got Toledo and Fort Wayne in their conference. You take even one of those teams out, Indy's easily in. So Fort Wayne had a big week. I think they went 2 for 3 or 3 for 3. So yeah, Indy will probably be a playoff team, which will be a lot more exciting. For the fans in Indianapolis and Indiana in general. So that was kind of the breakdown on that. Let's see. Nash traded to Bruins by Rangers. Bruins are definitely a lot better with Nash. And they're already in a playoff slot right now. So with him in the lineup, obviously he's first or second line guy. The reason why I like Rick Nash is because he's a big physical presence. He back checks well and he can shoot the lights out. So I think Boston's a lot better with him. So that's interesting. Let's see. I'll keep scrolling here. That one's only okay. All right. Gianta signs with Bruins. USA hockey captain. On a team that kind of underachieved. They didn't really have a lineup, much to do with their lineup because they didn't have NHL players to choose from. But I think that's an interesting move. I think that maybe this tournament allowed teams to see that he can still play at that level and get picked up. Obviously he's on the back nine of his career and may not be a top-line guy, but he's a good centerman. He can win faceoffs in the offensive zone. And I think Boston will benefit from that as well, man. Boston's loading up, shit. So, let's see. Just keep scrolling here. Oh, there's a video of Vasilevsky stoning some dude from Montreal. Look at that if you have a second. Line scored twice in Stars game. Big whoop. Stars are a better team. Let's move on. Let's see. Gerard Gallant favorite in Adams race for work with his first year Golden Knights. I cannot say enough good things about this Golden Knights team. And Gerard Gallant, head coach of Vegas, is obviously was the guy for the job. So, I mean, with as many stars in that lineup and the market he was going into, I think that's a good mesh, if you will. So. Everything that Vegas gets this year, they deserve. They've worked their butts off, and I know a couple people that have been to that rink, and they say it's very impressive. T-Mobile Arena seats about 22,000, 24 standing room, so it's a good venue. So yeah, I think that Vegas is they're on their way to a good start, and hopefully they can keep things going. This week, the New Jersey Devils retired the number 26 for Patrick Elias. Elias is a monster, especially in the mid-90s. 95, 96, they won the Cup against Detroit. Yeah, that team basically broke my heart as a kid. So, but he's a good player, and good for that community and that team, that organization. So yeah, I mean, it was awesome to see that. So, good ups for him. So, let's keep scrolling here. Yeah. Gillies got the win. If you're a big Indiana hockey fan, which I am, Gillies played for the Indiana Ice and is in the Flames organization. Spent a lot of time with Adirondack and has been up and down with Calgary. So he got a win the other night, 27 saves against Colorado. Again, not the best team to, have a coming out party, but it's good that he's up and making contributions. So good for Indiana as well. So let's see, keep going here. Matthews out 10 days. He'll be fine. He'll be back for the playoffs. Let's see. Keep going. Oh, I want to look up that trade. There was a big trade with Pittsburgh this week. Let me look that up real quick so I can break it down and not look like an idiot. So, let's see. Brassard eager to start with Penguins and trade. He's from Ottawa. He's a monster. 30 years old. He's a center, and he's pretty good. Let's see. Ottawa receives defenseman Ian Cole, Philip Gustafson. Vegas receives Ryan Reeves. As if Vegas wasn't stacked enough, they got a nice fourth-line winger that can lay the hammer down. A lot of people like to talk about Ryan Reeves and give it to him. I think he's a monster and far more skilled than people think. Obviously, he's a big physical presence. He's maybe an even hockey player. But with Vegas, he's obviously going to be a plus hockey player because they're great. So, let's see. Oh, man. That's a good trade. I think that everyone kind of benefits from that one. So, yeah. Obviously, the biggest move is Rick Nash to Boston. That's going to be sick. So, if you don't watch Boston, they're always on local TV in Indiana, NBC Sports Network, so check them out. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all the big ones. Yeah, that's all the big news right now, so I'll leave it at that. So, one thing I did want to talk about next week at some point, I'm going to have a full-on, we're talking like 2-hour thing where I'm going to go through and break down my top 25 NHL players of all time. Now, this is going to be just my opinion. People might disagree or agree with me, but I'm going to do a full-on breakdown of the top 25, so it'll be fun. Break down attributes, a lot of things I like to see, things I like to have watched when I was a kid. It'll probably be a lot of late 80s, early 90s guys that appear in that. Some that'll be well before my time. But that's something I want to do just to get another good episode out there and talk about players of the present, players of the past, how the game is compared, and how much different it is now than it was. So that'll probably be next week at some point. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, that'll be a fun one. I look forward to reading the comments on that one. That'll be neat. So yeah, that's kind of up the pike for us. Let's go back. Sorry, I don't have any help today, so I'm kind of doing this solo. So yeah, I want to talk about a couple other things real quick too. All right. I kind of want to talk about Carolina because they've been on the rise. So let's go to this. All right, so I'm going to dive into Hurricanes real quick because they're a team that a lot of people don't really know about. They're in a weird market where not a lot of people get to see them. So Sebastian Aho, right winger, he's from Finland. He's a stud. I was watching a game the other night where they were playing, and he is 100% all the time, never takes a shift off type of guy, and he's a lot of fun to watch. Victor Rask, one of those guys where 200-foot centerman, can back check and play defense really, really well. Obviously, you've got Jeff Skinner. He's a stud. He's been there forever. And then Jordan Stahl, Thunder Bay, Ontario native, great centerman, does the simple things right and puts himself in good position to make good things of the play. Let's see, Justin Williams is a beast. And then I want to break down the defense here too. Justin Falk, man, I had some boys over the other night. They're talking about the Hurricanes, and they're like, oh my gosh, Justin Falk is no good. First of all, watch your mouth. Justin Falk's a beast, undersized, but can still hit and moves the puck really well, has good vision. So that's one guy I really like to watch and kind of emulate my game off of his because his vision is really good and his passing is stellar. So then you've got Trevor Van Riemsdyk, USA kid, and doing good things. Then, of course, you've got Darling and Ward. Kind of a weird situation because like both goalies are really, really good. They kind of split starts, which is nice because you get to see both guys. So yeah. I'm partial to Scott Darling. I like his story. If you've never seen his story, go online, YouTube it. Good dude. He's been through a lot, and he's kind of made the best of a bad situation. So that's kind of my breakdown on Carolina. Let's go find someone else here. Let's see what we can find. Let's dig something else up. Let's see. Again, sorry, I'm by myself today in the lab. All right, let's see. All right, let's go. Oh, let's do the Rangers. I want to do the Rangers real quick. Full on breakdown here. Jean Rattel Knight, retiring number 19. Sweet. All right. Let's see what we got here. Jesper Fast, pretty good. Yeah, he's a good winger. Kind of underrated in a way. Gets to the dirty parts of the offensive zone and can find ways to score. Kevin Hayes, centerman. Good two-way player, center, plays a 200-foot game, USA kid. Really, really good. So Chris Kreider, Massachusetts native, left winger, 6'3". He's a big boy, And what I like about him is he's physical, but he doesn't take stupid penalties. A lot of guys that are big up front, they'll get involved and they'll take chippy, penalties that are untimely at times. Chris Kreider's one of those guys that stays out of the box. He's better on the ice than he is in the box, and I kind of admire his game. So let's see. Jimmy Vesey, good kid. Boston, Mass, stellar player. Let's go down to defense here. Let's take a look. Kevin Shattenkirk, he's a monster. He played with St. Louis, New York native. 6 foot, not the biggest dude, but a lot like Rask. Or I'm sorry, not Rask, but the guy I was just talking with Carolina. Good vision, moves the puck well, and he's not too aggressive on the offensive blue line, which is great. You see a lot of guys, they'll pinch and take chances on the blue line, serve up odd man rushes. Shattenkirk, while he is an offensive threat, he doesn't jump in too much and leave his team out high and dry. So then you've got Mark Stahl, 6'4", beast, Thunder Bay, Ontario native. So great player. And then you got Hank in net. They've got Pavlik, but when you've got Hank, you've got Hank. So Hank is getting up there. Let's see, born in 82, so I was born in 88. I'm almost 30, so he's 36, 37. A little bit older, but consistent. Just one of them guys where you can go back to the well, night in, night out, and he'll give you good starts. And one thing I like about Hank, and I've seen interviews with him, is that he owns it, man. If he has a shitty game or he gives up some soft goals, he'll own it. He'll, during interviews, just say, look, I need to be better. I. He takes ownership of his play, and, that's a good quality. One thing I really like about him. So, Hank's a beast. In my opinion, probably one of the top goalies in the league. So that's New York. Let's do one more. I'm going to break down one more. Let's see. Let's do Columbus. I was just there. I want to break them down. Jesus, Boone Jenner. God damn, he's so good. Let's see. Let's go to